Coming up next, some more updates on Brian Kohberger's murder case.
And a female inmate who died in a detention center in Lewiston, Idaho. All of that and more coming up next here on Murrow News 8.
From the Northwest Public Broadcasting Studios on the campus of Washington State University, this is Murrow News 8.
Good evening, I'm Quinn McCarthy.
And I'm Ivy Shank. Welcome to Murrow News 8.
The attorney of the family of Kaylee Gonkovs filed an appeal against on a high-profile Moscow murders case. The gag order restricted prosecutors, defense, law enforcement, and other officials from commenting on the open case. On January 18th, George Megan Marshall extended the scope of the order to the families of the victims. Gray argues that the gag order shouldn't be applied to the family because they are not parties to the case. She called the order unconstitutional and facially overbroad and vague. Kohberger is set to appear in Latah County Court on June 26th.
A 35-year-old Pullman woman is accused of being a part of an armed robbery and multiple stolen vehicle cases and has pled guilty in a Whitman County Superior Court. Gabriel Hernandez agreed to a plea deal which involved cooperation with prosecutors to plead guilty to 2 accounts of vehicular theft, as well as testify against her boyfriend, 37-year-old Pullman resident Roy Valdez, in an armed robbery case she was involved with. Hernandez remains in jail without bail and is set to be sentenced next month.
A homeless man just pled guilty of stealing thousands of goods from both the Pullman and Moscow Walmarts last June. Timothy Redmond was pulled over by a deputy just outside of Pullman, where the deputy found over $2,000 worth of merchandise from the 2 stores.
Pullman Regional Hospital held its 16th annual gala event on Saturday, where they raised nearly $200,000. The hospital said the funds will go towards sustaining and expanding operations over the next year, and they intend to improve its surgical space and emphasize recruitment and retention.
A WCU wildlife study during the COVID-19 shutdown showed increased animal activity. Ecologists found a big difference in wildlife activity depending upon the presence of human crowds. Their studies show that with less people outside during the pandemic, more animals are roaming freely in nature. Daniel Thornton, a WCU ecology professor, says the takeaway from this study is not to stop people from going outside, but to be more aware of their impact with the wildlife.
The Idaho Fish and Game Commission says they found 15 deer with chronic wasting disease in 2022. All these cases were detected within the 6-mile radius of Slate Creek in Idaho. CWD is a contagious and fatal disease that affects deer, elk, and moose. In the long run, this will affect long-term hunting opportunities in the area because there is no cure or reliable vaccination at this point.
In Lewiston, a 38-year-old woman in custody at Nez Perce County Jail was pronounced dead Friday morning. Her cause of death was not announced. According to a statement from Nez Perce County Sheriff Bryce Scrimshire, at about 6:30 a.m., detention deputies were notified by inmates in the general population of an unconscious inmate, Chelsea L. Roback Skinner of Lewiston. They performed life-saving measures as paramedics were dispatched to the jail and attempted to revive her, but she was pronounced deceased.
Coming up next, some quick updates on the Turkey and Syria earthquakes that took place over the weekend.
And WCU currently ranking in the top 100 universities in the country. All of this and more coming up next after the break here on Murrow News 8.
Dad, they took over my bedroom. Come on, come on. Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. Dad! You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
We have the latest updates for the earthquakes that hit Turkey and Syria Monday morning. The Wall Street Journal reports over 3,800 deaths and thousands of destroyed buildings after the initial 7.8 magnitude earthquake and another 7.5 quake hours later.
The U.S. Geological Survey estimated the earthquake could cause up to 10,000 fatalities and $1 billion in initial damages. Wall Street Journal says that search teams have been able to rescue 2,500 people caught under debris in Turkey. President Biden says the U.S. is sending teams to Turkey, while Israel would send aid to Syria.
According to Research.com, WSU ranks in the top 100 universities in the United States. Research.com focused on research publications, productivity, and impact as criteria to rank WSU 89th among more than 540 universities nationwide.
College of Natural Resources students at the University of Idaho have begun grooming Nordic skiing trails at the Flat Creek area of the university's experimental forest. The trails will span 12 to 15 miles and allow the public another location to enjoy cross-country skiing and non-motorized recreation.
Kirk Schultz announces plan to address issues at the institution. Schultz posted a statement on the WSU website last Thursday outlining his plan. He plans on addressing the dropping enrollment, budget cuts, drop in college rankings, and the athletics department deficit. According to Schultz, more detailed updates on the administration's efforts will be shared over the next several months.
A Colfax coffee shop celebrated its grand opening this morning. The ribbon cutting ceremony commenced in front of Colfax Chamber of Commerce at 11 a.m. this morning, welcoming shots to the Whitman County community. Specializing in coffee and breakfast food, they are located at 638 North Main Street in Colfax and now open from 5:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Tesla's executive chairman, Elon Musk, stepped down, leading the car company to reach a 70% low in stock in 2022. This decline led to Musk to have the largest net worth decline in history, which was $200 billion. However, in January, the 2023 Tesla's stock climbed back up to 38% in a single month. The company is overall concerned about the company's longevity of electric vehicles. Now looking ahead to the weather in the upcoming days, we send it over to Ryan, who has more on what the weather will be like.
All right, yes, thank you, Ivy. And we're going to be needing some of those heavy jackets for a little longer out here in Pullman. Let's take a look at our forecast that we have here. We're having some technical difficulties real quick. We'll be over here in just a moment. But looking here today, kind of partly cloudy. There we are. Let me move off. Well, here, I'll move over this way here real quick. We got some partly, there we go. So some partly cloudy temperatures here today, partly sunny. 42, a high 33 here in this one. Sunset just shy of 5 o'clock here real quick with winds kind of moving west-southwest about 12 miles an hour. Let's go and pull up tomorrow's forecast here real quick. Going into tomorrow, we have some rain and snow. Potentially looking into tomorrow, again, a chance that a high of 44, low of 31 there. And take a look at this. Our first sunset past 5 o'clock. So spring is in fact coming, and the days are in fact getting longer. It's just taking its time. And winds moving a bit more southward, about 8 to 13 miles an hour there. Let's go and pull up our state map here real quick. Move over to this side here where it's a bit more important. So looking here on the east side, we look over here at Spokane. Looking in again mid to kind of the low 40s over there, kind of a low of 33 and 36. Move more towards central Washington. Over here we have the Tri-Cities, our high mark of 52 over there. Same over in Yakima as well. And then looking over in Seattle as well, over on the west side. You can see mid to upper 40s over there as well, and a lot of rain coming their way as well. So what's new for West Seattle, right? Let's go and throw that 5-day up here for you real quick. I'll just step aside here real quick. There we are. Once again, you see some of those temperatures here, kind of low to mid 40s in the highs, but again, some of those lows kind of upper 20s and low 30s as well. So again, you'll be needing those heavy jackets here in the coming weeks. I'll also say as well, again, with some of those temperatures, we're going to have some gusts coming in as well, 15 to 20 miles an hour. And along with that, we'll be seeing some higher gusts as well into the 30s as well. That's all from me over here. Back to you guys at the desk.
After the break, which former WSU Cougs will play in the Super Bowl this Sunday?
And quick updates on Tom Brady beginning his broadcasting stint with Fox Sports in 2023. All of that and more coming up next after the break here on Murrow News 8.
It's okay to be scared. You don't have to be so strong.
Strength is not optional. This is my mother, my purpose. Real muscle is lifting her spirits between bedpans and bad news from doctors that doubt her strength. Strength is buried in bills, managing meds, and swallowing those moments of, Mom, it's me, your daughter. Remember? My strength is super, but I'm still human, right?
Look who's here. There she is. Thanks for your patience.
How you feel?
If you're caring for a loved one, Visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community, or call 1-877-333-5885.
This Sunday evening, there will be 3 former Cougs in Glendale, Arizona for the Super Bowl. Andre Dillard and Gardner Minshew from the Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Watson from the Kansas City Chiefs. They will be battling for the most wanted trophy in sports and to be declared world champions. Tune in to Fox at 3:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to watch our Cougs playing the last game of the year. On Saturday, the men's basketball team suffered a loss against the number 9 ranked UCLA 76-52. TJ Mamba and Justin Powell led the team in scoring, with Mamba scoring 19 points and Powell 17 points, scoring 5 3-pointers. The Cougs will be back home to face the Huskies in the Apple Cup Series, looking for a win. The game is set for this Saturday, February 11th at 7:30 p.m. Be sure to pack the stands. And then head coach Kami Edrich gets her 150-career win as an NCAA Division I head coach. Edrich now has an all-time winning record of 150 and 115 as a head coach, with stops at Northern Colorado and Washington State. With the Cougs win on Sunday against California 70-60, they now improve to 16 wins and 7 losses overall, and 6-6 in the Pac-12. So let's get into some highlights of that. So we saw great ball movement from the Cougs, led to open shots like this from Astra Tuhina all night. Also with some nice steals under the rim, like this from Joanna Tedder to get the bucket. And let's not forget about the great defense the Cougs put up, like this from Bella Murakatete to get the block and win the game. NBA star Kyrie Irving has been traded to the Dallas Mavericks. The Brooklyn Nets will receive Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, and 3 draft picks. Along with Kyrie, Dallas also received Markieff Morris. This deal was finalized just 2 days after Irving requested a trade ahead of the deadline. Irving's contract is set to expire at the end of the season, where he will be an unrestricted free agent. Tom Brady will be joining the Fox Sports broadcast crew in fall of the 2024 on a 10-year, $375 million contract. The announcement comes just days after the NFL superstar announced his retirement from the league. This new Fox Sports contract eclipses his entire career earnings by over $40 million. That's it for me, guys. Back to you.
Coming up after the commercial break is National Froyo Day across the country.
More on that when we come back on Murrow News 8.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, the boss's boss. If 1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes, that means it could be you, your barber, your barber's barber.
Nice work.
Thanks.
You, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse.
Yes.
You, your dog walker,
On your left.
your cat jogger. Or you, your co-pilot, your co-pilot's co-pilot. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org to know where you stand.
February 6th happens to be National Frozen Yogurt Day, so no matter what flavor you choose or what toppings you add, go enjoy the frozen treat today. Thanks for watching. If you missed anything on any of our previous newscasts, you can always watch us on our YouTube channel.
More news can be found at nwpb.org/mn8, and you can follow us on our Facebook and Twitter. Have a good night.